still tracking that alert day for Wednesday. So as we have just under 24 hours to prepare for our incoming snowfall, let's look at the latest regarding our weather data. We're anticipating that the snow will start early Wednesday morning, even just ahead of sunrise. But for the afternoon, that's really a time frame to keep an eye to, as well as we're going to be looking at some snow bursts that will be bringing in some snow at a pretty quick pace, allowing that to stack up fairly fast. So what we're watching is the beginning of this storm to start tomorrow morning. We'll see that starting by about 6 o'clock. We'll have that light snow, but even a heavy burst will kind of be the initial rush along with this storm. Then we'll see a little bit of a lull, but then that secondary burst will take place into the afternoon. We'll have heavier snow then and really allow those snow totals in the afternoon to add up. We'll be hitting that 4 to even 7 inches of snow to be possible with this system, and that will be one of the biggest snows that we've had so far this season. Looking at the hour-by-hour forecast to get us through the rest of Tuesday, if you have plans for the afternoon or even into the evening, you will just have cloudy skies. The dry weather will hold until early Wednesday morning. Like I said, it'll be just ahead of sunrise that we see this first burst of snowfall moving through the area. You'll notice a little bit of a lull right here, and then here comes that secondary line. Now, yes, there's a little bit of yellow that mixes in with that blue, and that's representing then some of the heaviest of snow that we'll have coming through. So that time frame for that secondary snow burst is going to be between noon and 4 p.m. So really kind of that afternoon time frame is when we'll pick up the majority of our snowfall. After 3 o'clock, we'll still have some lingering snow in behind it. It'll be fairly light, but the coverage you can still see really adding on just that last little bit of snowfall. Once we get through the 8-9 o'clock hour, that's when the snow will shut off, and then we'll have this system that'll work its way out of town. Now, what we're watching here on our snowfall map is that the majority of us are going to hold in that 4 to 7 inches of snow, that range. So that's going to include the majority of southeast Michigan. You will find into that far northwestern corner of Lenawee County and the northern portion of Hillsdale County. You are in that 3 to 5. But really, we're going to see kind of that heaviest band of snowfall that includes southeast Michigan, stretching even past the Maumee. And then we're going to see that up until we see about Huron County, even portions of Seneca County, and then Wyandotte County. Kind of this line right here, you're going to find is the end of that 4 to 7, and then you'll see 3 to 5 inches to be possible. And that's where we're going to be watching for some rainfall to be mixing in there. Now, in this 4 to 7 inch range, there is a good chance that we do find coming through the metro or even a little bit further east that we have some spots there. We will have the isolated 8 inches to be possible within this storm. So there will be some measurements that'll be isolated in spots to be just a touch higher, but still we're tracking that 4 to 7 inches for many of us here in the area. Now, some of the impacts, looking towards those time frames and the impacts that you can expect, you are going to find into the afternoon we have some of that heavier snowfall. So that means that'll be right after school or after work. So that means that if we do have maybe even that, well, some of those games probably going to be, of course, canceled at school. Any of those later appointments, going to be some tricky travel to get to those. And also just even getting home from work could be a little bit on the slow side, because towards the evening, I'm planning on slow travel and slippery roadways for those who are going to be headed out. If you can stay home, it's just always easier and safer that way. That also allows our road crews to take care of roadways, so then we're not in their way, and then that allows it to be a little bit faster. But that snow, that will be done by the time we head into Thursday morning, but still going to be tracking for some slippery spots on roadways, because even if we have that snow to melt, that will still allow for then temperatures to be below freezing, and then we'll see that kind of, well, ice on over. So be careful of some slippery spots Thursday morning. As we look at radar, the storm that we're tracking is still actually towards Texas, Oklahoma. You can see that into the southern plains, and it has a snow side and it has a rain side. So actually, we still have about 800 miles to go here that we'll be tracking this system to see the center of the storm, because that's going to determine where that secondary snow burst that I was talking about, the location of the storm is going to determine where that sets up for us here. Now, you're going to see that we have still, like I said, just under 24 hours to travel that 800 miles. Now, we do have temperatures outside that are above the freezing mark, so that's also going to be playing with some snow totals, allowing for some compaction. You're going to find that temperatures have been into that mid-30s range, right where we're sitting now, above freezing. So still a lot of our surface temperatures are hovering into the mid-30s as well. So as that snow falls, we will find that it compacts just a little. but it's also going to be a wet and heavy snow that we see. So just keep in mind if you are going to be doing some of that shoveling, or if you just want to call the snow company and let them do the cleanup. And now, of course, we have that alert day for tomorrow. So that's what we're really prepping and looking forward to. So make sure you have the WTOL 11 weather app. Stay ahead on those plans that you have. Thursday and Friday, we're going to hold snow showers into the forecast because we're going to be moving colder air in. So lake effect is going to be another part of this system as we still have some wraparound allowing for some snow showers. Saturday looking dry. I'm also watching though for Sunday to see another quick system move in, bringing some snow showers to the area, monitoring even the potential for some accumulating snow as we head into that time frame. So keep checking the WTOL 11 weather app for that. Even behind it though, wow, temperatures really fall. We're going to see next week highs are just going to be in the mid-20s. So February going to be on the cooler side for us. You will find that lows are just going to be into the double digits for some of these days. So we are going to be looking at cooler weather. Watching though next Wednesday for some more snow showers to be moving in, but the forecast still though holding a cold and more active pattern. So winter weather finally taking hold of our 10-day forecast. Of course, again with the WTOL 11 weather app, stay updated on tomorrow's alert day.